Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to day 15. Woohoo! Celebrate because you are at the halfway point. Okay, we are celebrating because you have made it to day 15, and maybe this is your first time clicking on this video. Welcome. We have been in the trenches, getting our minds right and processing what we are learning through the scriptures on how our mind affects our atmosphere and our environments and our purpose. And so, thank you for joining this challenge. It is a call to arise because your time has come. Please do me a favor if you have not already, click like on this video and subscribe for more content like this that will encourage you forward, help you unlock your next level, and also teach you that you are not in this journey alone. So let's get right into day number 15 of the Arise Challenge. And this one is titled Discipline in the Dark. It is the faithfulness before the sunrise. It's the things, the nuances that we do when no one is looking, which we learned in the previous video that is what integrity is, rising while it is yet night. So we've already taken care of the men, but you men stick around too because you can learn something from what we're talking about today to help you apply this to your life as well. As Proverbs 31 is a open letter that was taught to King Lemuel from his mother. And the 10 remaining verses is a poem that repeats itself so that it can drive the point of what a woman of value is. And so you need to listen to this conversation as well so that you can recognize these signs in the proper woman. Okay. This Proverbs 31 woman is a woman that is only for kings. Okay. And ladies, you cannot be a Proverbs 31 woman to a man that is not first a Proverbs 31 man. Okay. So let's get right into it. Proverbs 31:15 says, She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household and a portion to her handmaidens. So what this says is, get your tail up. No. Women, we are called to provide for our household. We are called to make sure that our household is thriving. And like we talked in the previous video, men set the tone of the household, but it's women that set the tempo. The tone is the attitude and character of the household. So if the environment is not peaceful and not loving, men, it is your responsibility to make sure that that happens so that she can multiply that. Because women, we come in and we multiply. You give us a house, we make it a home. You give us a seed, we make it into a child with the help of the Holy Spirit, obviously. But the thing is, God wired us this way. He designed us to keep up tempos and to carry out vision. Okay. And so it says she riseth. And we talked about that TH, which is I've learned from my mentor. TH comes from it's like one of those contractual words to remind you to do it over and over again. So anytime you see TH in the scriptures, that is alluding to doing it over and over again. So riseth, doeth, findeth. He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, which means, men, you have to discover this woman over and over again. Women, you have to be discoverable over and over again. Your husband should always find you a wife every time. Men, you should always be finding her attractive, discovering her. You should be attracted to your wife. You should discover the beauty that she is. Because when you go through life long enough, you begin to change and you begin to evolve. And as you are transforming, as you are becoming, you have to get to know each other over and over again. This is how marriages that last a lifetime, where they actually like and love each other and want to still have sex with each other, they learn to love each other at every point in every season of their life. They allow their spouse space and time to grow and to be discovered over and over again. So anytime something huge happens or something little happens, there is a new marriage or a new wife or a new husband that is going to come about. Okay. So this is where they say there's levels to this. And that's so true. Okay. So we know riseth. So it says she riseth while it is yet night. So riseth means to get up, to raise up, to stand up. And it's something that you do over and over again. So yes, ladies, there are going to be some mundane things that you're going to have to do on a regular basis, right? That's what builds discipline. So you have to keep rising while it is yet night. So when those children are down or early in the morning, and the house is still and it's quiet, you need to be rising. Okay. Arising in your mind, arising in prayer, arising in your watchtower, making sure that the day tempo is going to be set, and it can be even better set when you do it with your partner, when you do it with your husband, and he can set the tone of the day, and then you can keep that tempo. Okay. And this is where men need to learn, the men need to learn their wives and learn their role as husbands, because when you start your day with a good morning kiss, a good morning beautiful, and you actually mean it, or rub on her forehead, or I love you, what happens is by the time you get back home, and you might get right to it right then, but you're going to have some holy matrimony, some holy fellowship. Okay. Don't think by the time you've gotten home from work, or, out of the field, men, that you can just go right in and she's just going to want to be all over you after she's had a day. You have to prime and proper prep that thing all day long. And I don't mean that thing like her physical, right? But I mean her desire. You have to cultivate her like a garden. You have to make sure the flower has water and that it's nurtured. Because when a woman is nurtured, she flourishes. She flourishes. When a woman is loved and cared for, that tempo is strong. It's not irregular. That tempo is constantly flowing. It's in a rhythm. And then when that tempo and that tone is flowing, you guys make beautiful music. Okay. Okay, let me calm down. So it says she rises also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household. So giveth, right, means to do over and over again, to provide, to set, right? And so she is creating an environment that she's provided meat, or in this context, because it's a poem, substance, right? Food, pray. That's what meat means. Okay, it means tarib in the Hebrew translation. And so that is meat, that is prey, that is food. Because remember, she was on the merchant ships getting the supplies. So she's providing something that is substance to her household. And she gives also a portion to her handmaidens. I would also like to note that there is an absence of handmaidens, but when it says give a portion, it means something prescribed, prescribe a task or prescribe portion, action, a resolve. She's given them something to do. You see, the ministry of the handmaiden is really missing. We are missing women and manservants that could come into the household and help the mothers, or help the husbands do work in the field, in their businesses, or whatever the case may be. But the handmaidens were young female servants, girls, little girls, young women, marriageable young women's, okay, I'm sorry. Maid servants, female attendants, right? Some, like in some texts, it says other things like damsel, but here maid servants were there to help her in her household, which lets you know that while she is rising while it's yet night, she also had help. So some seasons you will need to pull on people to get help. This is why they say it takes a village to raise a family. That is absolutely true. And so we have to understand that we need people, the right people around us. And we also need to be giving a portion of whatever substance that God has given us. We need to be giving that to them. So that food could also be translated into income. So you might have to pay or hire someone to come and be a maid servant in your household. But you can do that when you are a good steward of merchandise that God has given you. You are a woman of wealth, because a virtuous woman is a wealthy woman. She has money. Okay. It never said in this chapter that she was doing all of the cooking and that she was doing all of the cleaning. She was watching and looking after the affairs of the household. Okay. She was watching and looking after the affairs of the household. And this is what sets the virtuous woman apart from just a woman. Okay. Because she was a woman, she was a wife, she was a mother, she was an entrepreneur, she was a boss chick. Okay. Now remember, this is a woman that is prophesied. So what that says is she needs to come forth. God is waiting on the Proverbs 31 woman to be realized. We're not talking about women, oh, dress like a Proverbs 31 woman with me. Get ready with me as a Proverbs 31. No. Work ethic. Yeah, you look good on the outside, but your attitude is nasty. Yeah, you say you're a good wife on paper, but when you can't speak to the man right, you don't know how to do the basic things in life. And I'm not saying you got to know how to sew. Listen, all of those are soft skills that can be developed. You need some hard skills, okay? Some raw meat and potato substance skills that's going to help at the end of the time. You need to have a mind that is stable, emotions that is regulated. You need to have substance. Okay. So men, if these women out here, they just all they want to do is he wanna talk so light and so like a feather. Now don't get me wrong. I tell my coachees all the time, you need to talk to your husband like a little old lady. That just can you help me with that, darling? You have to know how to walk around and be in your essence as a woman, but also remember you're a warrior and that you are a weapon of mass destruction against the kingdom of darkness. And so you can't be weak when it's time for you to step up in war. Okay. This is that she rises while it is yet night. Discipline in the dark. Okay. Cause boy, I can't stand when I watch movies sometimes, and the husbands, I watch action movies with my husband a lot, and the women be in there. Well, what do we do? Oh my gosh, they're shooting. What do I do with it? Like she's all razzled and frazzled and stuff, and the man is just like, calm down. It's okay. I just need you to hold these guns like this. Listen, women, the men don't have time to be trying to coach us through some things when we're in a war. We're in a war. We got to have our own self together. Okay? Notice how it's not saying that he provided meat for the household. She provided meat for the household. And she gave a portion to her handmaidens. Okay? So get you some handmaidens. If you don't have the money, you need to ask God to send you some help that you can trust in your household, or you need to figure out how to make some more money and be like the merchant ships. Okay? You won't have to go out the house to make money. You can stay right at home. With the way social media is, especially with TikTok, baby, TikTok has become miniature QVC. So there's no excuse as to why we are not making money. The problem is we are minding everybody else's business instead of the business of God and instead of the business that he has given us. And that's the business of womanhood. Everyone wants to talk about feminine, being a feminine and soft woman, and they put it in the context as if she's a lazy woman and that she just, all she does is her hair and makeup all day long and sits and just looks pretty. That's not all she does. She can, and that still adds value, can bring value, but that's not all it means to be a feminine woman. That's an outer, right? The Bible talks about not looking at the outwardly, but looking at the contents of the heart. So that's what this is. That's what Proverbs 31 is talking about, the contents of that woman's character, the contents of her heart, because that is what makes her a set apart woman. That is what makes her a woman that is virtuous, because many women do well, they excel, but not many of them are virtuous women. The virtuous woman excelleth them all. So don't think you being a wife and being a mother and you stay at home with your children is insignificant, because it's not. You're raising up the next generation. You're standing beside a husband that is doing great things. You are yourself doing great things. Because as we'll see in later verses, it is the work of the woman's hands that causes her to be praised. It's the fear of the Lord that causes her to be praised. And as a virtuous woman, we have to remember that all that we do as women, yes, other people benefit from it, but we get the benefits. We reap the benefits of being these women too. It is a blessing. It is an honor to be anointed as a woman. Okay. And so with that being said, okay, and get past my introduction now. Let's talk about what happens when no one is watching, right? So because that's where real leaders rise. It's in the dark. Because think about a seed being planted. That's when the real men and women of God that are going to be rooted and they won't be swayed by the world are found. Okay, so point number one, preparations happen in the dark. So your breakthrough doesn't come to the unprepared. Breakthrough comes to people that have done the work and that are in position. And so if you're a wife or a husband in waiting, get in position. Don't wait until that person comes to you to try to get ready, because you can lose or forfeit that person because you slip up and you do something that was detrimental that you could have worked on behind the scenes. Okay. The Proverbs 31 woman prepares before the demand hits. So when she rises while it's yet night, she is making sure that everything is set, because to riseth and to giveth means to put in order, to stand up for. Okay. We don't wait until it's time to cook dinner to figure out what's happening for dinner. We stay ahead of the curve. We are not living at the edge of chaos because we are not prepared. I see a lot of women that are frazzled and they feel overwhelmed because everything feels like it's getting on top of you, but you just scrolled 3 hours on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and you just watched a love movie, a love story for the last 2 hours. At least you could have been folding your clothes, the baby's clothes, while they was doing that. Kids running around with their heads cut off because they need predictability. They need stability. They need substance in the household so they know what they can expect. And so, point number two, discipline is the engine of impact. Discipline isn't harsh, it's holy. No one likes discipline. What the Bible says, for I think it's in Hebrews. Let me pull it up. For now, all discipline, for the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields a peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. Hebrews 12:11. You have to allow discipline to train you. It's going to help you be holy. Okay. You don't need hype when you have a rhythm. You don't need motivation. Like, I need some motivation to keep my house clean. How about you don't want a roach crawling in your mouth? Clean your kitchen. How about you don't want to keep wasting money buying things when you know you've already purchased this once before, but because you can't find it because you have so much clutter, you're going to buy it all over again. You don't need hype. You need a rhythm. You need a flow. And as women, we are supposed to live a life in flow, which is truly the soft life, when we can go from one thing to the next and be graceful with it, and it be easy for us because Holy Spirit comes with ease. And we are like unto Holy Spirit because we are helpers. We come to make things easier. Okay? And so point number three, lead before you're seen. Be a wife before you get to your husband. Men, this applies to you too. Be a husband before your wife comes to you. You can apply Proverbs 31, all of the verses to your life as well. Discipline in the dark, rising while it is yet night. You can pray. Your meat substance can be covering your family and children in prayer, giving a portion to your men servant, having men around you that can assist you on your journey. Okay. And so your audience doesn't determine your assignment. Okay. So who's in the audience right now does not determine your assignment. So if you are someone that God has called to the mountain of media and you have 10 followers on YouTube, take care of them 10 followers. We got to stop acting as if 1,000 people and 10 people are still not a lot of people that God will entrust you with. If God gives you one person, that is one person's life that you are supposed to impact. And that is powerful. Okay. And then I want you to feed your household spiritually, emotionally, practically, whether they applaud you or not. Being a wife and a mother can be considered a thankless job. We see here in later verses um, that her children and her husband rise up and call her blessed. They call her blessed because she's doing thankless work, something that people will deem, oh, you just a stay-at-home mom. Oh, you just a stay-at-home wife. Like, you ain't doing nothing big. Are you crazy? No, we are watchmen. We are not just women. We are watchmen. We are wives and we are mothers. And so we feed our households with substance, spiritually, emotionally, practically. When your family comes home, they should be feeling so safe to be themselves, to make mistakes, to fail. And so when they go out into the world, they'll be strong. They'll be strong in their convictions. They will be unwavering in their faith. You have to feed them substance that's going to help sustain them. And so now I want you to ask, what part of my life needs quiet, consistent discipline? And if anybody's like me, my daughter's almost 10 months old, but at the time of this video, one of the areas that I've been doing my best and being quietly consistent in is my health. Because if I go down and get sick, I'm not saying my whole household would struggle because by the grace of God, I have a great husband that could uplift me, but it will shift the tempo in the household. And so I have to do my part to make sure that I am taken care of and poured into. And we're going to get more into that later. And so I want to challenge you, start tomorrow with purpose, not pressure, but get up and make a decision that no matter what, I'm going to make my bed every day. No matter what, I'm going to get up and wash my face, brush my teeth. Even if I'm not going nowhere, I'm going to put some clothes on. No matter what, every night before I go to bed, I am going to clean my kitchen. I'm going to put the food away. I'm going to give to the poor. Okay? Because that's quiet discipline too. Giving to the poor. It could be food. It could be old clothes that you gently use. Work on quiet discipline because it's the quiet discipline that helps you build a life that is truly fulfilling on the scene and off the scene. Okay? Start tomorrow. Heck, start right now. Make a decision right now. And I want you to also remember that leaders are made in the shadows. So keep showing up. Okay. Keep showing up. Leaders are made from an obscure place, and God needs leaders that lead with integrity. He needs wives to rise up in their calling and to lead with integrity. And I want you to make a decision today that I will arise. Still I rise. I will arise. Okay. And join me for day 16 tomorrow, where we're going to talk about vision and ownership. We're going to talk about the power of having your own, sis. You need your own. But before God will entrust you with someone else's, you have to take care of your own. So thank you for joining me for day 15. This has been Ashley Sturgis. I am so excited to be on this journey with you. I want you all to hit the like and subscribe to get more content like this, and share this post with somebody else that needs to be encouraged on their journey of becoming. And listen, don't think that what you're doing right now is insignificant. God sees you and He honors your effort. Okay. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.